Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is my first video since hitting 100k. Thank you so much for all of your support, and as you can see by the title, we can celebrate together by going to see X. I'm so excited. This looks like a super edgy and fun horror that I can't wait to sink my teeth into. This is a Ty West film and it's an A24 film. It has Jenna Ortega, Mia Goth, Brittany Snow, Kid Cudi. I'm just really psyched. I actually have not watched the trailer because I want to go in as blind as possible, but I know with Ty West there's always something twisty going on, so I'm very excited to see what he is cooking up this time. I do think Ty West has an array of different styles he has tackled in the past. Films that are my favorite of his: The Sacrament, House of the Devil, and I do believe this one is going to be done in a 70s kind of fashion style, so I think it's going to lean into what he did in House of Devil. I'm glad to hear he's going more into that. He's been doing a lot of TV recently. I know he did a couple of episodes of Wayward Pines, he did some of the episodes of Scream, the TV show of course, and also he did a couple of episodes of Chambers, which I recently talked about in my top 50 original Netflix TV shows and movies. Sorry, the longest title ever. The film just came out yesterday in America and it's actually not coming out in Australia for another week, but there are a few public pre-screenings or advanced screenings, so I'm going to go see one tonight. I'm just so happy that I can see this at a timely manner because, as I said, I think it's going to be twisty and turny. I do know the basis of the film is kind of like an Inception. It's watching people make a film in the 70s, an adult film, I believe. It's either a horror or an adult film. Again, going in blind, and obviously something goes wrong. And yeah, I can't wait to see what kind of feeling this film has. I don't know if it's going to be over the top or campy. I don't know if it's going to be like I Spit on Your Grave. I don't know if it's going to be more of a Texas Chainsaw kind of feel, because I believe it's in Texas, rural Texas. Anyway, I'm going to have a lot of answers for you in a second, and I'll give you my spoiler-free thoughts. Let's go check out X. It has to be an X-rated film. It's just coming to me now. It's definitely an adult film. X. Okay, let's go check it out. Just because it's smart doesn't mean it can't be art. That film was amazing! Oh my god, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I think it does not matter. If you know more about this film, you will... It is twisty. It is twisty as expected. Ty West. I love this. This is the coolest thing. I am so happy I got to see that movie. Okay, I'm sorry. I just finished watching X. Exceeded any expectations I had, which I really didn't have any. Yeah, let's leave that on. I really didn't have any. Okay, let's set this up. Of course, I'm going to stay spoiler free. This film is about a group that are traveling to go film a smut movie, a porn movie, an X-rated movie together, and they go out and stay at a gentleman's property in rural Texas, what I believe to be rural Texas. Texas, you're not making yourself look good this year, I tell you that much. And then strange things just start happening. The film is so well done because it has the full package. It has the absolute full package. The acting is amazing. Brittany Snow is, like, you know you're watching Brittany Snow, and I'm sure you have been following Brittany Snow for a while. She's in a lot of, like, more, like, poppy kind of films, more, like, comedies and stuff. I love her. And she was fantastic in this. It felt like you knew you were watching her, but she had picked up all of these different mannerisms and just ways of delivering all of her lines that you felt like you were watching a different character, but it just had her face, which is, I know that's what acting is, but she really just, yeah, it was just amazing. Mia Goth is also just adorable in this role. It's made for her. The whole thing was just a wild ride. I love this film because you go in not really knowing what the horror is, and it really creeps up on you, I tell you that much. But besides that, sorry, I'm getting so excited. So we've got amazing, the cast was just so well done. Kid Cudi, brilliant. The casting was so well done. There's not one, I wouldn't say unlikable characters, maybe not the choice word, but the characters were all so interesting that there was no fighting for screen time. You know, usually when you watch a horror movie or any movie, there's like a one or two like relationships or a character or a plot that you really tie to and you want more of that. Everything felt so balanced because everything was so interesting in this film. So you have that. You have this plot that is winding and turning and you're not too sure what it is, and they just give you time to catch your breath before they hit you with another strange moment. So you had that. The soundtrack is killer. Not only the original like score that's in the background, which is really reminiscent of Halloween or something like that. Like it has that kind of edge. You'll know when you hear it. They also incorporated a lot of songs that are pretty, well known in pop culture and in really interesting ways. And I found myself like bopping along watching it. It's funny because it was wait, we'll get to that part. I want to talk about the techniques first. The way it was shot, obviously very reminiscent of the 70s, and it really reminded me of Fresh in a way, not because obviously Fresh was not based in the 70s, but it just reminded me because recently I did a review on Fresh and I said a similar thing about the movement of the camera and how they incorporated that into the storyline, and they very much do so in this film. This film isn't so much looking or graded or anything like 70s. I mean, it is, but where it really, gets that feel and that nostalgic, nostalgia for the 70s when I definitely was alive. It has all of the camera movements that are, emulating that time. It has these amazing wide zooms that you feel like you're in like Friday the 13th or something like that. It's just so clever because not only are you watching these really interesting characters and these really strange situations and these really, you're also watching it from a beautiful angle, and that's when the film ties into itself, because the film is about a group making a smut film or a porno, and that's kind of ties into horror and what people think about horror and how horror is wrong and dark and disturbing and evil, and that's where they kind of marry porn and horror, because they're both seen as like this darkness that is kind of people feel guilty for liking. Of course, obviously we don't, but that's the greater experience sometimes. And so it was really interesting because they're talking about how they want to make this film arty. And there's a character in there who is the director, who's also the DOP, who's filming. He's talking about how he wants to make this art film, and it's just incredible because that's exactly what you're watching. You're watching an arty horror movie. But yeah, the movements, it was just fantastic. They also really strong editing, has some really interesting transitional scenes where they cut back and forth, and it just really heightens the tension. And that was the one thing I want to talk to you about. This movie scared the shit out of me. I don't know if I was just so into it. I was laughing because it is funny. Like, let's talk about the genre. Like, this is genre bending as it gets. It's a funny, like, throwback film that is, because it has a lot of, like, dirty jokes. It plays into that. And that's why Brittany Snow is, like, a really good character for this, because she's always that kind of, like, sarcastic kind of character, and she can really play that off, almost like satire-ish, ironic humor. So she was really a really good fit for this film. But yeah, I found myself laughing throughout, but it was still had it's almost like the jump scares got me, but the overall creepiness of this film is something else, because it is layered. It is so layered. On top, it is just you can see it as just a fun splatter slasher, but underneath there is a true, like, meaning and message to it, and an eeriness and creepiness. And when you watch it, I'm not going to say like the topic, but when you watch it and you realize what you're getting creeped out by, it says a lot, and it's just very clever. Like, I loved it. I absolutely love this film, because it's one of those films that are so layered that you can watch it several different ways at the same time. And I mean, what more can you ask for? As I said, it really does have it all. It's got the acting, well casted, really interesting to watch, like the way it's put together. Every scene is just, like, the way that the angles they use and the way they shoot is just very interesting, and you aren't sure what's unraveling at the same time. For me, it felt a little bit like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, only because obviously that emulates the same kind of timing, but also there are a couple of shots, I guess, with half-naked women traveling. You know, there's a foot shot, you know, that kind of stuff. So I kind of got those vibes, but I really appreciated everything that he put in there, and what he was trying to say. Congratulations, Ty West, you really knocked it out of the park. And you know what makes me so excited about these kinds of films? Because as I was saying before, he's been doing a lot of TV lately, or, you know, during the last couple of years, where he's, like, kind of taken off from doing these original films. This is so exciting to watch, because it just means that he has knocked out of the park, and hopefully from here, you know, the doors are wide open, because I believe this film would have been a very interesting one to pitch, and for it to be not only for A24, which they're always pretty good with doing exciting and interesting, unique ideas, just to knock it out of the park, I think it's just such a nice time for horror, because hopefully there'll be more of this kind of stuff. Okay, now I've kind of blurted that all out. I hope it made sense. If you did not get the message, this one is worth your time. There is a post-credit scene. Unfortunately, it was not at the screening I saw. I don't know why they didn't do it. Hopefully they do it when it actually comes out for general screenings. I mean, this was a general screening, but it was an advanced screening. But there is a kind of trailer thing that they show. I know other people have said, shout out to Ben, that they have done in America for a post-credit scene. So definitely it's worth sticking around anyway. Got some great original music that they play at the end, so definitely worth that. The film was terrific. I am going to give this one a personal score of 9 out of 10. Loved it. Originality score, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It definitely plays tribute, or really, it's more like a, you know, it's a nostalgia piece, so it's like, you know, it emulates films in the 70s, especially Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It has to feel like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the setting, come on. But it definitely stands on its own feet. But yeah, it obviously pulls from different things. But it does wind interesting elements into this film. I was not ready or expecting what happened. It was just so left of field, and it's so twisty, and you will never guess. It was just fucking odd. And I loved it. I'm a bit weird like that. I think we all are. That's why we're here, right? And for scare, I was actually really scared during this film. Not that something's gonna come grab me, it's just the tension, the overwhelming eeriness and creepiness that you don't know what the fuck is going on, and you don't know what's next, and they really play on that. They really hold the tension, and the editing in it for those moments where they snap back and forth during those things. Oh my god, I was on the edge of my seat. I was literally squirming in my seat during that that screening. So I'm gonna give it a 7. for scare. I think that's fair. I think 8 would be like actual nightmares, but this is not a nightmare film. Like, I'm not scared now, but it was definitely like a lot of tension. So I hope you all go see this at the cinema if you can, if you're able to. Highly recommend it, worth the trip, and hopefully you can see it soon so there's no spoilers, but I really don't think there can be spoilers unless people like memeing it and stuff like that. I just don't think. This was a great way to celebrate 100K, so thank you so much for that. And I hope you found this little burst of joy helpful in your life, or at least I probably upped your expectations. Sorry, but worth the hype. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you very soon. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye, friends.